The hidden market for Danish royal jewelry exposed. How ordinary people are buying crown-worthy pieces, the secret shopping guide royals don't want you to know. Welcome to BNews. What if you could own the exact same jewelry worn by queens and princesses without spending a royal fortune? Hidden across the internet and scattered throughout exclusive boutiques worldwide exists a thriving marketplace where ordinary people can purchase jewelry inspired by or even identical to pieces worn by Denmark's most glamorous royals. From sparkling tiaras that mirror the crown jewels locked away in palace vaults to delicate bracelets that Crown Princess Mary has worn to state dinners, these pieces are available to anyone who knows where to look. But here's the shocking truth that the luxury jewelry industry doesn't want you to discover: you don't need a royal bank account to wear royal-inspired jewelry. The question isn't whether you can buy jewelry like Danish royals wear, it's why nobody has told you about these secret sources until now. Today, we're blowing the lid off the hidden world of royal-inspired jewelry shopping, revealing exactly where you can find these pieces, what you should expect to pay, and how to avoid the scams and overpriced replicas that plague this market. Before we reveal these closely guarded shopping secrets that could transform your jewelry collection forever, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our insider guides to living like royalty on a realistic budget. And here's what we need from you. Drop a comment below telling us which piece of Danish royal jewelry you've always dreamed of owning. Is it one of Queen Margrethe's statement brooches, Crown Princess Mary's elegant pearl earrings, or maybe one of those stunning tiaras from the royal collection? Let us know, and if you've already purchased royal-inspired jewelry from any of the sources we're about to reveal, share your experience to help other viewers. Now let's dive into the complete guide to buying Danish royal-inspired jewelry that will change how you think about accessible luxury forever. The first thing you need to understand about buying Danish royal-inspired jewelry is that there are actually several completely different markets operating simultaneously, each serving different needs, budgets, and expectations. At one end of the spectrum, you have exact replica pieces, costume jewelry designed to look as close as possible to specific items worn by Danish royals, from tiaras to necklaces to brooches. These pieces are typically made from non-precious materials like cubic zirconia, crystal, brass, or silver-plated base metals, and they're designed purely for appearance rather than investment value. At the other end of the spectrum, you have authentic luxury jewelry from the same designers and houses that create pieces for the Danish royal family, made with genuine precious metals and gemstones. And in the middle, you have what might be called inspired by jewelry, pieces that capture the aesthetic, style, or design philosophy of Danish royal jewelry without attempting to replicate specific items exactly. Understanding which market you're shopping in is absolutely crucial because the pricing, quality expectations, and appropriate uses for jewelry differ dramatically across these categories. A replica tiara designed to look like the Danish pearl poire tiara might cost anywhere from $50 to $300 and would be perfect for wearing to themed parties, costume events, or even weddings for brides who want that royal aesthetic without the royal price tag. However, these pieces are not heirlooms, they're fashion accessories with limited durability. An authentic Georg Jensen bracelet in sterling silver with the same aesthetic sensibility that appeals to Danish royals might cost $500 to $2,000, but it's made from precious metal, will last for generations with proper care, and represents a genuine investment in quality craftsmanship. A custom-made replica of a royal tiara using high-quality materials and professional craftsmanship could cost several $1,000s but would be suitable for repeated use at formal events and could potentially be passed down as a family heirloom despite not being made with precious gemstones. The confusion and disappointment that many shoppers experience when buying royal-inspired jewelry stems from not understanding these distinctions before making a purchase. Someone who expects a $50 replica tiara to be an heirloom piece will be disappointed when the plating wears off after a few uses. Someone who pays premium prices for what they think is a high-quality replica might feel cheated if they later discover they could have purchased an authentic piece from a royal-favored designer for a similar amount. The key to successful shopping in this market is first deciding what you actually want: appearance, investment value, authenticity, affordability, or some combination, and then targeting your shopping to the appropriate market segment. Once you've clarified your goals and budget, you can navigate the various shopping options much more effectively and avoid the common pitfalls that trap uninformed buyers. Let's start with the replica market, which is the largest and most accessible segment for most shoppers interested in Danish royal-inspired jewelry. The leading name in this space is unquestionably the Royal Look for Less, a company that has built its entire business model around creating and selling replica royal jewelry from monarchies around the world. Their website, theroyallookforless.com, features an extensive collection specifically dedicated to Danish royal jewelry, including replicas of some of the most famous tiaras in the Danish crown jewel collection. The Danish pearl poire tiara, one of the most photographed and beloved pieces in the collection, is available as a replica that captures the distinctive pear-shaped pearl drops and diamond framework of the original. The ruby pearl tiara, another iconic piece frequently worn by Queen Margrethe during her reign, is replicated with red crystal stones standing in for the magnificent rubies of the authentic piece. The Royal Look for Less has become the go-to source for this type of jewelry for several reasons. First, they focus specifically on royal jewelry rather than generic costume pieces, which means their design team studies actual photographs and historical records of royal jewels to create replicas that are as accurate as possible given the constraints of affordable materials and production methods. Second, they offer a wide range of pieces beyond just tiaras, including replica brooches, necklaces, earrings, and bracelets inspired by pieces worn by various members of the Danish royal family. This allows shoppers to create complete looks rather than just purchasing a single statement piece. Third, their pricing is relatively moderate for the replica market. Most pieces range from $70 to $300, making them accessible to enthusiasts without requiring major financial investment. And fourth, they've built a reputation within the royal watching community for reasonable quality given the price point and for customer service that handles issues professionally when they arise. However, it's important to have realistic expectations about what you're getting when you purchase from the Royal Look for Less or similar replica retailers. These are not fine jewelry pieces. The diamonds are cubic zirconia or crystal. The gold is brass or base metal with gold plating that will eventually wear off with use and time. The pearls are usually glass or plastic. The construction, while adequate for occasional wear, is not remotely comparable to the engineering and craftsmanship of authentic royal jewelry, which is designed to be worn for hours without causing discomfort and to withstand the rigors of repeated use over decades. Replica tiaras in particular can be uncomfortable to wear for extended periods because they're often heavier than they should be due to the materials used and because the internal structure doesn't have the sophisticated weight distribution systems of authentic pieces. The sparkle of cubic zirconia, while impressive in photographs and adequate in person, lacks the fire and depth of genuine diamonds. And the overall durability is limited. These pieces are designed for occasional use, not daily wear or to become family heirlooms. Another player in the replica market is Royal Lover Fairy, accessible at royalloverfairy.com, which offers a similar selection of royalty-inspired jewelry with a particular focus on tiaras. Their collection includes pieces inspired by various European royal families, including several Danish-inspired options. What sets Royal Lover Fairy apart somewhat is their willingness to do custom work. They'll create replica pieces based on customer requests, including specific items from the Danish royal collection that might not be available as standard products. This custom service typically costs more than their standard offerings, with prices ranging from $200 to over $1,000 depending on the complexity of the piece and the materials used, but it provides an option for someone who has their heart set on a specific royal piece that isn't widely replicated. They also offer what they call premium versions of some replicas, using higher quality materials and more sophisticated construction methods, which occupy a middle ground between basic costume jewelry and fine jewelry. The custom replica market is actually quite extensive if you know where to look, though it operates somewhat under the radar compared to established retailers like the Royal Look for Less. On platforms like Etsy, individual artisans and small jewelry studios offer custom replica services where you can send them photographs of a specific piece of Danish royal jewelry and they'll create a replica for you. The quality, pricing, and reliability of these custom makers varies enormously. Some are genuine skilled craftspeople producing excellent work, while others are essentially ordering cheap components from overseas suppliers and assembling them with minimal skill or quality control. The advantage of custom work is that you can potentially get exactly the piece you want, including rare or less famous items from the Danish royal collection that commercial replica companies haven't bothered to produce. The disadvantage is that you're taking a significant risk with an unknown maker, and there's often no recourse if the final product is disappointing or if the maker simply takes your deposit and disappears. If you decide to explore the custom replica route, there are several strategies you can use to protect yourself and increase the odds of a satisfactory outcome. First, thoroughly research any maker you're considering, look for reviews, ask for references, check their history on whatever platform you're using, and see if they have any presence in royal jewelry collecting or costume jewelry communities where their reputation would be known. Second, communicate extensively before committing. Send detailed photographs and descriptions of what you want, ask for sketches or computer renderings of what they plan to create, discuss materials and construction methods, and make sure you and the maker have aligned expectations. Third, never pay the full price upfront. Reputable custom makers will typically ask for a deposit of 30 to 50%, with the balance due upon delivery, giving you at least some leverage if the final product isn't acceptable. Fourth, use payment methods that offer buyer protection, such as PayPal or credit cards, rather than direct bank transfers or payment apps that offer no recourse. And fifth, be patient. Quality custom work takes time, and any maker promising a complex replica in just a week or two is probably cutting corners or working with pre-made components rather than creating something genuinely custom. Now let's shift from the replica market to the authentic luxury jewelry market, which represents a completely different approach to owning Danish royal-inspired jewelry. Instead of buying replicas of specific royal pieces, you can purchase authentic jewelry from the same designers and houses that create pieces for Danish royals, giving you jewelry that shares the aesthetic sensibility, craftsmanship quality, and cultural significance of royal jewelry without attempting to imitate specific items. The most important name in this category is unquestionably Georg Jensen, the legendary Danish silverware and jewelry company that has held a royal warrant of appointment to the Danish monarchy since 1924. This royal warrant means that Georg Jensen is an official supplier to the royal household, a designation that carries enormous prestige and signals that the company's work meets the exacting standards of the Danish court. Georg Jensen's relationship with the Danish royal family is deep and long-standing. The company has created custom pieces for various royals over the decades, including brooches, necklaces, and other jewelry items. Most notably, in 2022, Georg Jensen created a special Jubilee brooch to commemorate Queen Margrethe II's 50th anniversary on the throne, a piece that was presented to the Queen and became part of her personal collection. Crown Princess Mary, now Queen Mary, has been photographed wearing Georg Jensen jewelry on multiple occasions, including their iconic designs during both official engagements and more casual appearances. Prince Henrik, Queen Margrethe's late husband, was known to be a patron of Georg Jensen and owned multiple pieces from the company. This royal connection isn't just historical or ceremonial, it's active and ongoing, with Danish royals continuing to choose Georg Jensen for both personal purchases and official gifts. What makes Georg Jensen particularly appealing for someone seeking Danish royal-inspired jewelry is that the company's aesthetic perfectly captures the Danish design philosophy that influences royal taste. Georg Jensen pieces are characterized by clean lines, sculptural forms, and a modernist sensibility that avoids excessive ornamentation in favor of sophisticated simplicity. They work primarily in sterling silver, which gives their jewelry a distinctive look compared to the gold-dominant pieces of many other luxury jewelers. The craftsmanship is exceptional. Georg Jensen maintains traditional silversmithing techniques while also employing contemporary design innovation, resulting in pieces that feel both timeless and current. And because the company creates a wide range of jewelry at various price points, from relatively affordable silver earrings starting around $200 to elaborate necklaces and bracelets costing several $1,000s, there are Georg Jensen options accessible to buyers with different budgets. You can purchase Georg Jensen jewelry through several channels, each with its own advantages. The official Georg Jensen website, georgjensen.com, offers the complete current collection with the assurance of authenticity and the convenience of online shopping with worldwide shipping. The website regularly features sales and promotions that can make pieces more affordable, and they offer excellent photography and detailed descriptions that help you understand exactly what you're buying. Georg Jensen also operates flagship stores in major cities around the world, including Copenhagen, New York, London, Paris, and Tokyo, among others. Visiting a physical store allows you to see and try on pieces in person, which is particularly valuable for jewelry where the way it looks and feels when worn matters as much as how it appears in photographs. The staff at Georg Jensen stores are typically very knowledgeable about the company's history, design philosophy, and royal connections, and they can help you select pieces that capture the aesthetic you're seeking. Beyond the official channels, Georg Jensen jewelry is available through more than 1,100 authorized retailers worldwide, according to the company. These retailers include high-end department stores, independent jewelry boutiques, and specialty Scandinavian design shops that carry Georg Jensen alongside other Danish brands. Buying through an authorized retailer gives you authenticity guarantees and often allows you to see Georg Jensen pieces alongside other options, helping you make comparisons and informed choices. You can also find Georg Jensen jewelry through secondary markets, including vintage and antique dealers, estate sales, and online marketplaces like 1stDibs, Cherish, and even eBay. Vintage Georg Jensen pieces can be particularly appealing because they offer the cachet of the brand's royal connections and exceptional craftsmanship at prices often significantly below current retail, and older pieces have historical significance as examples of Danish design from different eras. However, buying vintage requires more expertise to authenticate pieces and assess condition, and you should only purchase from reputable dealers who can provide provenance and guarantees of authenticity. For those specifically interested in vintage Georg Jensen, Copenhagen Silver, CopenhagenSilver.com, is a specialist retailer worth knowing about. They focus exclusively on Danish silver, with Georg Jensen being their primary emphasis, and they carry both new pieces and vintage items from throughout the company's history. Copenhagen Silver's expertise in authenticating and evaluating Georg Jensen pieces makes them a trusted source for collectors and buyers who want confidence in what they're purchasing. They can also help educate buyers about different Georg Jensen patterns, designers, and periods, which is valuable if you're trying to find pieces that are similar to or from the same era as jewelry owned by Danish royals. Their prices reflect their specialist expertise but are generally fair for the market, and the assurance of authenticity and quality from a knowledgeable dealer is worth the potentially slightly higher cost compared to buying from unknown sources. Beyond Georg Jensen, there are other Danish jewelry designers whose work embodies the aesthetic sensibility associated with Danish royals and could be considered royal-inspired even if they don't have formal royal warrants. Ole Lingard Copenhagen is a high-end Danish jewelry house known for its contemporary designs that often incorporate colorful gemstones and organic forms. While more expensive than Georg Jensen, pieces typically start around $500 and can easily run into five figures for elaborate designs. Ole Lingard represents the artistic, fashion-forward side of Danish jewelry design. Crown Princess Mary has occasionally worn jewelry that reflects this more contemporary aesthetic, though whether specific pieces were from Ole Lingard is not always publicly confirmed. Shambhala Jewels, another Danish luxury brand, creates pieces with a spiritual and philosophical dimension that appeals to some collectors, though their style is more niche and less universally associated with royal taste. For those interested in pieces that are more directly connected to specific items in the Danish crown jewels or historically significant royal jewelry, there's actually a fascinating option that many people don't know exists. You can see the actual Danish crown jewels in person at Rosenborg Castle in Copenhagen. The castle houses the royal treasury, which contains the Danish crown jewels including the crown, scepter, and orb used in royal ceremonies, as well as various other historically significant jewelry pieces from the royal collection. What makes the Danish crown jewels unique among European royal collections is that they